Hey everybody, this is Gav from Guns to Roses, Jungle Room Sessions Part 5. My guest today, long-time associate of Guns to Roses, my good friend Mr. Matt Davis.
Hey guys.
So Matt, what we're gonna do a bit of going back in time, and I think you're one of the very few people around us that has been technically spanning 3 decades if you include 2020.
Yeah, definitely.
It's actually only 14 years, but we like to make it sound more interesting. So, how did you get started, man? When did you start playing drums and that?
Wow. I think my parents let me have a drum kit when I was about maybe 15 years old. Let me play in the garage about an hour after college every day. Used to whine shit out of my neighbours. But yeah, they were just very encouraging, my parents, and I just carried on, just practiced, self-taught myself, didn't have any lessons, just self-taught. And I just carried on, started playing in bands around 17, just original bands, never really got into tribute work until obviously I met you guys. That was, what, 2006, I want to say?
That was February 2006, I remember.
Yeah. You'd know your dates, man, you'd know dates like, to the T, it's crazy.
We used to record everything, see, I used to have this video camera, and we'd record all, because the phone cameras were bullshit back then, and we would record all the shows and transfer them to DVD. And then when we met you, Stephen Adler, we were under the guise of Adler's Appetite.
Wow, yeah.
And I got your contact details of someone, and I remember getting in contact and you being sold the gig that you're going to play next to Stephen Adler from Guns N' Roses. Yeah. How was that? I've never asked you this, but how was that, getting that call saying the guy from Guns N' Roses, you're going to use his kit? Because what happened that day was we did the Appetite for Destruction and GNR Lies with Stephen, but this one prior, Matt did the Illusion stuff with us first, and then Stephen Adler come out. This was at the Liverpool Cavern Club, but how was it to get that call off your agent at the time?
Well, I mean, to play with one of your heroes, one of your legends, one of your favourite drummers, it was really, really nerve-wracking. I always remember it was Liverpool, wasn't it, Cavern Club. I just remember driving all the way up there on the drive. I just rehearsed it, literally driving up there, trying to rehearse all the songs. You guys sent me the set list, so I had all the set list in front of me, and because I remember getting there, I remember he turned up really, really late. I remember because we'd already played our set. I don't think he even saw our set. I can't remember. But I always remember sitting backstage, and the first time I met him, and he came in the room, he said, "Hey man, spark that up, man," and just threw this like a joint butt at me or something like that. And I was like, "Cheers, mate," like that. And then, yeah, it was just crazy, man. It was just like, I was nervous. He's probably pretty much the first sort of really big celebrity that I'd ever really met, and it was crazy, but he was a lovely guy. He was just, really, really nice guy. But it was a pleasure to play with him. And I think he used my cymbals, and I've still got the cymbal now. It was the big old ride cymbal, and he don't know how he did it, but he cut his finger. He must have hit a cymbal with his finger or a rim of a drum or whatever, and he got blood all over my ride cymbal. And I've still got that cymbal with blood on it. And I never got rid of it. I don't know why.
So you could actually clone him if you knew what the fuck you were up to.
Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. I'm kind of thinking as I go along, but so we did that show with you. And I don't think we spoke, and then I think I called you back for another show. And it went from, it was the Cambridge Corn Exchange.
Yeah.
We had a show at the Cambridge Corn Exchange, and there was about, I don't know, a couple of thousand people that night. I think that was in March 2006.
I think that was with a Maiden tribute and a Kiss tribute.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was nerve-wracking for a second gig. I mean, I remember I didn't play that great that night. I remember, because I was still so nervous. I wasn't really familiar with the set. I remember I got a few heckles online and people saying how bad I was at the drums and everything. I remember getting quite upset about it because I never really had any sort of bad feedback like that before. I mean, people can actually write it online, and for me to see it, I was just a bit like, wow. So I'm really trying to upstep my game a little bit, in the future with you guys. But that gig, for a second gig, that's like the biggest thing I've ever played, and that was just like a sea of people from the front to the back doors, and it was just. Yeah, it was very, very nerve-wracking. Yeah, I remember that one very well. Yeah, very, very well.
I think despite that though, I didn't really, I didn't think you were too bad that night. I do remember some complaints.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember that show because I left the stage to go after a guy that was flipping us off. Do you remember that? That was nearly 15 years ago now.
I remember that. Oh my God, I remember you flipping off. Yeah, I think you jumped down off the stage.
Yeah.
And tried to get at him. Oh, that was so funny. That's not the first time we've ever done that over the years.
That's the thing. I think with me as well, that is where the crowd think it's part of the act.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you know me personally. You know that's what. You know, I stopped being that way now. I mellowed out, but that is actually how I would react. What the fuck you saying?
Exactly. Yeah. You used to flip off at loads of people, and I don't know. I think it was might be in the underworld. We used to actually push somebody off the stage and somebody got on, and this dude just went like flying off the stage. Whether he landed on his head, whatever. But yeah, it's just some of the stories I've got over the years. Yeah, just absolutely hilarious. Yeah. But you're not that sort of person anymore, so you've mellowed out a bit. But yeah, back in the day, man, I've seen dudes fly off the stage. It's fucking hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Dude, you would not have done that to me. So, yeah, going back, and then I think you did the big show with us in Cambridge, and then we kind of, we kept you on board, so you couldn't be that shit. And because then time went on, and then you did the Glasgow Budget Festival, and then the even bigger Matthew Street Festival, and which is to date one of our biggest crowds. I think there was 35,000 people.
I mean, that was insane, that gig. I mean, I've never seen so many people in front of me. I think it was like quite an early slot or early afternoon slot. I can't remember now. I think it was at the peak of it, and everybody was there. It might have been about 2, 3 o'clock, actually at the peak of this festival. And yeah, that was just insane. That was just. I mean, I suffer a lot from nerves. I mean, these bigger gigs, I do get nervous to hell, but that gig I really remember. But if that was one of the ones you had on DVD that you gave me. I'm pretty sure you had that back in the day of the DVD and the recording.
Yes.
And that's one of the first ones you gave me. And I remember watching it back, and it was actually really, really good. And we all played so tight, and it was really, really good. But I always remember that one. That's probably one of my favourite gigs. But I'd say Glasgow Budget is definitely up there when I did Glasgow Budget. You got the first time I had it, when I had the dolly wig, that dolly wig I used to wear, like rat, used to get all wet, and it's like
you used to look like one of the Weetabix.
Yeah, and it got so wet and sweat, and it used to have like dreadlocks in it, and it got to the point where like it just was like out of here. But when I first bought it, it did look quite good, but then after the years, yeah, it just
I can remember you in that outfit in one of our early photo shoots, and you got me, Niall, Palmer, and the other guy.
That's right, yeah.
And we're all kind of posing, like looking like the part, and you're just sat there, stood there with your arms down by your side, like, fuck you looking at you cunt, sort of look on your face.
Yeah.
Out back in Southend, that was in the alleyway there.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. Wow, that's time ago, yeah. But then obviously I got out of that and then wore a bandana, a bit more Matt Sorum, but yeah, I had to get rid of it. It was too hot to play in that as well. But I tried to look the part, and everyone else, you obviously and then, everyone else had long hair and everything. But yeah, I do remember that week well. Yeah.
So yeah, and then we went on we did 2007 came around, and then you went off to university or something.
That's right. Yeah,
and then we didn't see each other for about 3 years, maybe?
No, I mean, I can't remember who played for you around that era now, but that was...
I remember it. You came back on Winborne, which was probably the shittest gig to date. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I was like, welcome back, mate, and then your fucking kit just fell apart mid-gig.
Oh, man, I think I ended up bloody doing my snare, like I split the skin on my snare and everything. I had to get, halfway through it, get the sound engineer guy to put duct tape around it, and I had to say it flat, and yeah, that was a terrible gig to come back to.
The thing is, it was such a crowd. As long as they had the intro to Sweet Child of Mine, no one fucking knew.
Oh, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, no one gave a shit. I mean, I don't think anything was even mic'd up. I think it was just literally like in the corner somewhere of this place, and nothing was mic'd up, and people still enjoyed it. Like, people were still jumping around and everything. But I tell you what gig really springs to mind. Do you remember? I can't remember where it was, but it was definitely up the M1, maybe on the M6, and there was an oil spill. And there was that traffic, and we were like literally like miles and miles of this traffic.
M6, we were on the way to Bristol.
Was it? No, it couldn't be Bristol. No, Banbury maybe or something.
Oh yes, different time.
Not in Banbury. And we were so late that we didn't have a sound shot or nothing, and the venue was full of people, and I had to carry my kit like above my head through all these people. I put it on his stage. I mean, it was so late. And
I think it was Chicago Rock.
It might have been Chicago Rock, yeah, and it was round, but I just remember getting there so late, and you know, it was terrible. Like that gig always stands out. Most stressful gig I've ever done. Trying to get around people with heavy equipment, trying to get people to move. And the music was loud, so people couldn't hear me. And I was hitting people's drums, trying to get through, and that was probably the one gig that really sticks out. That one, yeah.
So that sort of period, 2009, you made sporadic appearances with us because you know you had a different life by then and stuff like that. So, but then you came back on board in late 2014, and you got any memories of how the band had changed? There was different members then. You still had me and Niall.
Yeah, but... Niall. Yeah, I remember. Niall's been in it from when he was really young, probably about 16, 17. He was in the band, wasn't he? I always remember getting a little Christmas present from him back in the day. He used to buy us all Christmas presents, and I remember I got a little Jack Daniel's shot set that he gave me. I thought it was really sweet. He doesn't anymore, does he? But he used to be nice.
Do you know he's got a missus now?
He has got a missus, yeah. I'm very surprised, actually. Yeah. I know what you're going to say.
Why are you surprised, Matt?
No.
Tell them what they already know.
No, they don't already know. I can't know.
You know what he said earlier on the run through? I didn't know he got a I honestly thought he was fucking bent. Did you not say that?
No.
You fucking did.
Mate, he's going to kill me.
Anyway, yeah, so the early years, Niall, with me and Niall was still there, and then there was the additions of Harrison and...
yeah.
And then we had Jack Edwards, who's now doing well with Piston.
Of course, yeah.
I think that was the lineup in 14 when you came back.
Yeah, it was, yeah. I mean, I don't remember Jack was there, but I don't remember being around for too long. I don't, because he's obviously busy with his other band, Piston. But Harrison's always been there. He used to work at the Intrepid Fox. I think I actually met him before he joined the band. He used to work at the Intrepid Fox in Soho, I want to say. I've known Harrison for ages, but the lineup's pretty much been the same, really, since then. And obviously with the Slash guys, there's obviously a new Slash. I can't remember who was on after Jack. Was the Slash guy after Jack? Valerio, that's the one, yeah. I mean, Slashes, you've gone through so many Slashes over the years, don't you? I mean, you must have at least 30 guys you can call to do the Slash. I remember, so I came back and I must have been with you guys for a solid 3 years, I'd say, maybe 3.5 years.
Yeah. It was, but in that time, after the comeback, I recall that we went around to quite a few new places. We did Holland, Belgium.
Oh wow, yeah.
Where else we fucking go?
Oh, we did Romania. Romania was really, really good. I always remember Romania being really, really good.
And then we get to the one that I spoke to Harrison and Andrea about. We get to Aizawl, India.
Wow.
Now, how was that when we arrived? It was. Do you remember we had the police escort and fucking?
Well, I remember getting to the airport and we just had that crazy sort of sea of fans there that just wanted to get selfies with us, and it was just, you just had cameras just in your face, and they just wanted to get a selfie with you. It took so long to get in, where we're getting our sort of transfer from the guys that picked us up from the airport, and then all these sort of fans got on these sort of that little moped bike things, and they just literally just escorted us through everywhere. The whole sort of van that we were at, a hotel, and it was just they were just kind of taking care of us, really. It was crazy. And they made sure we got to a hotel, and they kind of left us alone. They didn't come in a hotel with us. They kind of just got us there safe, and pretty much see you at the gig. And
stuck us in a town in the mountains, which was cannibalistic 150 years ago, and said, "Happy days, guys. Fend for yourselves."
It pretty much was, yeah, it was. And I just remember, mate, I always remember that making me arse myself on TV, because we went to that kind of live boxing show that we got invited to. We sat there and they got us in the ring, and they started asking us how we're enjoying it and how we're enjoying our stay in India and everything. And
Delhi belly.
Yeah, and I remember the woman, all the questions she could ask me, the interviewer girl, said, "How you finding the food here?" And I just literally saying that my bowels are terrible and I can't eat anything here, and I've got the shits basically on live TV. I just like, what a thing to say. And I always remember that. But the gig itself, I mean, wow, what can you say about that gig? I mean, 3 songs in, I think it was. 4. Knock on Heaven's Door, on that kind of speaker tower thing, just kind of crushing on all those people. I mean, it's just the safety measures there were they just couldn't take that amount of people. And I mean, they were climbing these speaker things. I mean, they were quite far back at one stage. They had this kind of barrier thing there, or they had security that kind of stood there and stopped them from kind of getting nearer to the stage, but eventually they just kind of pushed it out of the way and just like ran raided the stage and started climbing all these sort of speaker towers. And I just remember, and I didn't even notice it until Harrison literally kind of sort of shit himself and just ran backstage, and Noel went back as well, and I'm still half playing, and then I didn't even know what happened, and I didn't see it fall. I just noticed everyone leave the stage, and then when I did the stage I was like, what's going on? And Harrison's just freaking out. He's going, did you want to see what happened? I'm like, no. He's like, mate, a speaker tower just fell off. And then when we were going back on the stage, I just saw like some people on the floor. Like one guy, he think he broke his wrist and all that. And I was just like, oh my God. And he was hammering down with rain, everything. And then, you know, obviously we couldn't go back on the stage after that. And then I just remember all these sort of police escort kind of things saying, right, get in. It's like they wanted to kill us because we wouldn't go back on stage. You know?
I remember they come up to us and they said go back on stage.
Yeah.
But Harrison and Andrea were so.
They were just traumatized by what they saw.
They were kind of traumatized.
Yeah.
And the thing is, with that show, you, me, and Niall were the only ones that had a drink before.
Yeah.
So we were like, fucking be all right.
Well, I mean,
but I at the same time, aeroplane. At the same time, I don't know. I thought we still could have gone back on, but it was getting more and more dangerous. I felt for the people that had been injured, and then. But the thing is, if the lead guitarist and the bassist are refusing to go back on,
they couldn't set the gun as a free piece. That's the problem, isn't it? But I just remember playing because the weather was hammering it down with rain, and I've never really played drums with everything so wet, and it was just water was just everything I hit, water was just coming back, and it was just sort of getting the eyes and everything. But to be fair, because the guy said nobody's hurt, it's fine. I probably would have gone again. I probably would have finished the gig. Yeah, definitely.
I can remember, I spoke about it on the one with Harrison, that they stuck us in, it was the closest we got to a riot show kind of thing, and they stuck us in all these little jeeps and said, don't look out the fucking windows.
Yeah, keep your windows up.
I saw some other footage on the news reports, and there were pure fights breaking out.
Yeah.
But at the time, I remember you and me actually went out. I was like, fuck it, we just give him a wave, and all I saw was like 30,000 people running towards us. I was like, yeah, Matt.
Get the fuck out of here.
Apparently, this was a tribe, and they were cannibalistic 150 years ago. And Tower Bridge was getting built. They were fucking having dinner on each other. I was like, we best fuck off now.
Yeah.
But the fact is this, not many people believe it, but you and I got back to the hotel and was like, fuck yeah, so we found a nightclub.
Yeah, we did. We just thought everyone else was, well, I mean, you know, everyone was a bit traumatised by it, but you know, we got the reassurance that people were okay. I mean, I think one guy knocked his head. And
we visited his house.
That's right, we visited his house and we think, you know, I mean, I think once they reassured that, you know, it was all okay, we were just like, you know, let's go out and do something. And the other guys, you know, didn't want to for whatever reason, but yeah, we went out, didn't we? And had a good laugh. Just found some sort of like, some karaoke sort of bar club thing. Very quiet in there. We just had a few drinks and then got left home. It was nice, yeah. But no, it was a crazy gig. It was a crazy gig. Definitely one that I'll remember for a while. All the news, obviously, it was all on the news and everything, and you know, there's videos on YouTube of this speaker thing falling and stuff. So yeah, if you want to go check that out, it's quite traumatising.
Check out Guns to Roses LPSL, P for Peter, S for Sugar news on YouTube. All the footage is there. It's even a video of me singing Queen's I Wanna Break Free.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Remember I crashed that band set?
That's right. Didn't we do AC/DC? I think we did an AC/DC.
We did DC.
That's it,
and then there was a commercial break, and during the commercial break for the audience, they were doing Queen.
That's right.
And there is a video that somebody shot over there, and you can see, because it's Queen playing, one of my favourite bands, that I start edging back in the shot. Give me a mic, mate. And for the first time ever, I sang I Wanted to Break Free, pretty much dressed like this, so it looked odd. Yeah. But God, I struggled. It came out okay though. And, I found it earlier this year and uploaded it. It was kind of a funny moment, kind of thing. But yeah,
I mean, that was crazy. I mean, that was just like it was at the airport. I mean, people were just, you know, they were just literally just all over us. You know, they just trying to get into the van to get back to our hotel, get into the van to get back to the hotel. It's just they just wouldn't let you. They were just just couldn't get away with it. People were grabbing you and trying to get pictures, and it was a crazy experience. Like, it was one of them experiences that I feel that, you know, I might never have again, but it was good to feel like that. You know, people just wanted to talk to you, wanted to get pictures with you. It was just like being like, I don't know, like Metallica or something, walking down the street and getting mobbed. It was like that. It was crazy. Yeah, it was absolutely crazy.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Well, you will end up in some gig like that again. No doubt Steve will have to do a family fucking holiday in Banbury.
Yeah.
Something like that. We'll sort something out. So yeah, as we're all in lockdown and stuff like that now, so pretty much we've been doing other things, but can't say too much what our shoot was up in Star Music Bank Studios. But yeah, you came to our last video shoot, which was last week. How did you find it there? Did you enjoy the studio?
I mean, that studio is just absolutely incredible. I mean, like, all that team behind it, you know, the sound engineers, the photographers, the filmers, it was great to watch. I mean, just to come down for the day and just experience it, you know, it was, it's really, really good. I mean, the footage of you guys, it's pro footage, it's all, you know, pro mix and everything, and yeah, just really looking forward to seeing it, seeing the last outcome of it, yeah, very, very good.
And as I said, that footage, and when we do release what it's for, in 75 years from now, someone's gonna get that and go, fucking hell, everyone in this video is either fucking grey or dead.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Yeah, it's just one of them. It's just crazy to think that people are going to see that for forever, basically. Yeah, forever. Yeah,
nah, it's kind of cool. But so what are you doing aside of obviously we're all fucked right now, but you got any other side projects going on, bands and shit?
I still do my Red 13. I still do that. I still do obviously Trophies of Man. You know, we had to cancel so much stuff due to the corona and everything. We had loads planned throughout the year, and it's just a shame this whole pandemic has kind of knackered it for people ask. So it's all kind of gone on hold, kind of thing. You know, I mean, the last gig I must have played must have been sort of February, I guess, before this whole thing happened. And yeah, it's just itching to get back out there and do it. But who knows where it's going to go from here? You know, who knows? Like, you know, it's just why I'm just trying to do other little things. I do drum teaching now on Zooms. Awesome. A couple of people I teach on that. I've got into video editing, so I do a lot of video editing. I've done a few of my band videos for that. And I've got into mixing now. Started doing a bit of mixing and stuff like that, trying to do a bit of mixing, get that under the belt. I think this whole not doing music at the moment thing has kind of made me do other things. It's kind of made me get into video editing, kind of get me into music production. I'm just trying to sort of get my skills out and just do something different, because hopefully one day this sort of thing will come in handy. But there's nothing like gigging, so it's a shame the way it's gone. I mean, you could pretty much say this year's a write-off for it, can't you? I mean, it ain't gonna happen.
Pretty much. I mean, if we can find other things to be creative about, and you know, even these little things we do, it's always good to, you know. And we got a few people down there as well, and we've got a few people coming for the jam. Okay, we're not getting paid for it. Okay, it's not us and 2,000 or even 150, 300 people, but if it gives us some memory of how things were, then it keeps the spirit alive.
Of course,
And I guess just positivity is the only way that can, you know, we can get through and come out the other end and see what the new world is going to be. Hopefully it'll go back to normal.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically, what is normal now? You know, that's the thing. I mean, these venues, I mean, so many venues are struggling, man, and like, you know, it's just can't save them. What can you do? I mean, with social distancing and stuff like that at venues now, it's just places are going to be literally 2/3 empty, so they have like a third of people in there, and you know, venues just can't afford to run it, and they have to maybe up the price of tickets, which is going to annoy people. You know, bands won't get paid as much, that kind of thing. So, you know, what is the normal? What is the normal? That's the thing. That's the thing. What is the normal?
And time's going to tell. Yeah. Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap this up now, and we're going to come back for jam when James and Dan turn up. Don't know what the fuck we're playing yet. We might even get Driscoll on the guitar. That'll be a fucking laugh. Big fucking baby. So anyway, we'll be back soon. Thank you very much, Matt Davis.
And thanks so much for having me, man.
See you guys soon.
Cheers, guys. Take care.